What's up, Smashers? My name is Whiplash from Polarity Gaming, and I'm going to show you how to set up a stream for Super Smash Bros. Melee and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We're going to go over the different steps for setting up the console, mixer, and computer stream. We'll start by setting up the console for Melee. Skip ahead if you are setting up the console for Smash 4. Make sure you have all of the components listed, as well as a power strip. The components shown here are the Wii power cable, Wii audio video cable, 2 component cables, a mono audio cable, the distribution amplifier, its power cable, a power cable for the PVM, a capture card with its HDMI component adapter, the USB 3.0 cable, and our stereo cable from the mixer. Let's start by plugging the power into the PVM. After that, we'll connect the power and audio-video cables to the Wii. We need to split the audio and video from the Wii and send them to a few different places. We can accomplish this with our distribution amplifier. Let's plug in the power to our distribution amplifier and then connect our audio-video cables from the Wii to the distribution amplifier as well. Next, we'll connect our first component cable to the distribution amplifier. This is then connected to the back of the PVM in the order of green, blue, then red. Make sure the connection is secure because loose cables can heavily affect stream quality. Connect the second set of component cables to the distribution amplifier. The other end of the component cables will be connected to an HDMI adapter that plugs into the capture card.
Ha!
Let's give some audio to the players. Grab the mono audio cable and plug it into the distribution amplifier. This then plugs into the back of the PVM. It's time to send audio from the distribution amplifier to the mixer. Take the stereo cables and plug them in next to the pink dot. Don't worry, we'll go over the mixer in more detail shortly. The final cable for the Melee setup is a USB cable that connects the capture card to the back of the PC. Make sure you plug it into a USB 3.0 blue slot. With our cables set up, let's prepare the Wii for the stream. Turn on the monitor and make sure that you're plugged into port number 1. Power on the Wii and navigate to the Homebrew channel. Make sure the blank slate is selected and load Nintendo. Select the highlighted setting, then hold down the B button. Then enable progressive scan display. The last thing we'll do is enable 20XX. Go to Trophies, then name entry to enable 20XX Tournament Edition. This next section covers the components needed for a Smash Ultimate setup. For those of you setting up a Melee stream, skip ahead to the mixer tutorial. Make sure you have all of the components listed. The components here are the monitor power cable, 2 HDMI cables, a capture card, its USB 3.0 cable, speakers, a Nintendo Switch, the Switch power supply, and a GameCube controller adapter. Let's start by plugging the power cable into the monitor. Take the first HDMI cable and plug it into the monitor as well. Now grab the headphone cable from the speakers and plug it into, you guessed it, the monitor. Next, we'll want to take the HDMI cable coming from the monitor and plug it into the output port of the capture card. Pair the second HDMI cable to the input port, which will eventually connect to the Switch. We'll then plug the USB 3.0 cable into the capture card, which connects to the streaming computer. Take the Switch and open the back slot. Plug in the Switch power cable, then connect the input HDMI cable to the Switch as well. We'll also connect the USB cable from the speakers, which gives them power. The last thing to connect is the GameCube controller adapter. Make sure both USB cables are plugged into the Switch. Now that we have our console set up, let's move on to the mixer and its components. We have the mixer power cable, USB Type-B cable, headsets, 1/4-inch 2-component stereo cable, headphone amplifier, its power cable, and the mic-to-mic cable. The inputs are along the top of the mix board, the control knobs are in the middle, and faders which control volume are at the bottom. Let's start by connecting the power mixer cable and USB cable to the mixer. The other end of the USB cable connects to the computer. Next, we'll plug in our broadcast headsets. They have 2 cables, a large XLR cable and a smaller TRS cable. Take the XLR cable and plug it into the mixer. We'll come back to the smaller cable in a moment. Time to set up our gameplay audio. Take the 1/4-inch 2-component stereo cable and plug it into the mixer input by the pink dot. The other end is plugged into the distribution amplifier, which we covered earlier. Now, we'll set up the headphone amplifier. Connect the power cable to the headphone amplifier. And then take our remaining headset cables and plug them into the headphone amplifier. Almost done. Let's give our broadcasters some audio. Locate the phone input on the mixer near the yellow dot and plug the mic-to-mic cable into it. Connect the other end of the cable to the headphone amplifier's input channel. Nice! Now that the mixer is set up, let's learn how to use it. The control knobs in the middle should be centered. We won't be utilizing these unless you know what they do. The faders for our microphones should be set to 0. This is the audio sweet spot for the mixer that provides the best signal to noise quality. When we want to use the mic channels, click the buttons above the fader to unmute them. We'll do the same for our game audio channel. One of the most important faders is the main mix, which controls the overall volume that is sent from the mixer to the computer. This fader should also be set to 0. The last knob is the phone knob, which controls the volume of the audio that is sent to the headphones. With the console and mixer set up, we'll move on to the final piece of the puzzle, setting up the streaming PC. Load XSplit and check the audio settings. Make sure Audio Preview and System Sound are set to none. Our microphone should be set to line, which is the audio from the mixer. The next thing we'll set up is the cameras. Let's make sure the camera signals are being sent to the right scenes. Go to the commentator scene where the commentator camera is. Right-click on the webcam and go to camera source. It gives you 3 different options. Our webcams are called the C922 Pro Stream webcam and the Logitech HD Pro webcam. Either camera can be used depending on where the webcams are physically set up. In this example, we're using the C922 Pro Stream webcam for the commentators. Now, select the player cam scene and ensure that the alternative webcam is set to the camera's source. In this case, the Logitech HD Pro webcam. Now for the important part, setting up the game video. Select the 3-screen scene and right-click on the Analog 1 capture source. Ensure the camera source is set to Analog 1 capture. If no video is displaying, click Configure under Device Configuration and select Video Input. For Smash 4 and other consoles utilizing an HDMI input, such as the PS4 and Nintendo Switch, have the video input set to HDMI. For Super Smash Bros. Melee, set the video input to Component. When going live with the stream, there may be multiple Twitch channels that you can stream to. Make sure you are broadcasting to the proper Twitch channel. Generally, this will be the Polarity GG channel. The last thing we'll do is set up a source for the commentators on the second monitor. Go to Playout, Projector, Screen 2, and select Live Scene. There you have it. The stream is set up and good to go. Make sure to post in the comments if you have any questions or need further clarification. I'm Whiplash, and this has been a Polarity tutorial on streaming Smash.